Hey YouTube, coming at you with what's going to be my last team for the Great League rotation this time, and it is Drifblim, Drapion, CHARJABUG. And for those of you who, at least for a couple of years now since the Toronto Regionals, know that CHARJABUG is a special place in my heart for getting me to the Group A finals in the Toronto Regionals. And it is got some bulk, and it's got, these moves don't hit super hard. Discharge X's are not super hard, but it's got enough bulk and enough coverage to do well. Paired it with Drapion and Drifblim. Drapion is a stay swap, and I was like, oh, I'm very weak in the back to ground, so I put in Drifblim on the lead to deal with the grounds that you would have problems with in the back. So Drifblim lead into Talonflame. Drifblim is, I'm running it with Astonish. I just checked PvPoke and it actually says recommends Hex, which I don't truly understand. I just think that get that raw Astonish power. I mean, it depends on how you want to play it, but I just think if you're going to use a Hex user, you probably just use Jellicent. Anyways, grabbed one shield, and they do get the fly off there to take me out. That is okay. Here comes another move. Now the question is, can I Poison Sting this down before they get to a third fly? We're going to find out here. Nope. I cannot. So I'm going to have to commit the second shield. I'll come out with a bunch of energy. That's fine. And it is a Marowak, and I am at 100 energy now. So here comes one Aqua Tail. Here comes the second Aqua Tail. And if they're not expecting it, here comes the third Aqua Tail. And they are not counting, because here comes the third Aqua Tail. Will take out the Marowak, which is huge. What's in the back? A Credilli. Acid is neutral, but it is slower to the charge now. And these X scissors are coming at 12 and 8 here, which means I'm going to get to 2 moves before they get to 2 moves now, which you can live on Rock Tomb because you are, again, very bulky, even though it is super effective. Live that, get to the X scissor. Attack's lower, so I may not take it out, but one more Volt Switch down. Take that matchup. Marowak, good lead. This is where you want to see a Marowak if you are against one. Out into a Drifblim. Sorry, a Drapion. And you can see me hesitate because I am trying to figure out what do I actually do against a Drapion here. So I do catch an Aqua Tail, which is not bad. I'm going to be surprised if I respect the Crunch. Yeah. Crunch does, like, again, Shadow, Drapion, Stab, about 100 base damage points here. So I know that it puts out some good damage. They do let that move go, and unfortunately 1 HP is enough to let them get to another move here. It is an Aqua Tail, so it does not take me out, but grabbing a shield and taking me to 1 HP is unfortunate. I do get an X Scissor off. X Scissor is neutral against ground, and I'll get the Drifblim alignment, which is what I need. And we'll see what's in the back, and it is a Moltres. So I will grab 1 shield or do good chip damage here. Instant swap, because Sucker Punch is resisted over here. Now I'm only going to have Aqua Tails. I know it's a Flyer Brave Bird. It is just a fly, but the Sucker Punches are resisted, so I'm not too worried about being Sucker Punched down from this range. So get to the first Aqua Tail. They let it go. Get to the second Aqua Tail. If this takes them out, it's going to be tough. Well, Marowak could maybe get ahead on energy, but they do decide to shield and try to snipe me, and they do get it. And now I only have one option. They farmed a lot. I know they have a lot of energy on the Moltres. They do just go Rock Slide here, which means I need to commit to the full Astonish farm down because I need some energy coming out. This just ends up being a Bone Club. I'll live that with ease. Here comes your super effective Icy Wind. And this should take out what is left of the Moltres. Matang, so a good lead. They are Psychic, so they are weak to Astonish. So they get out into Sableye. I eventually get into Drapion here. I may shield, yeah, because I just don't expect to bait. It'd be kind of weird to bait a foul play. And Power Gem, Shadow on Shadow, maybe I live that. It's kind of risky. It would put me low enough that they could just go bait or foul play, or maybe even just claws. So I think it's just worth the shield there. And I wouldn't be surprised if I just shield back here, knowing that if they go double Power Gem, which they do, I'm now just going to outpace. And I don't know if you saw it, I did get the defense lowered. Like I say, I think Drapion plays exactly the same in this year as previous seasons. So I bait. I don't even need to bait this here because this is enough to take out from this range. So take it in the twos, still have alignment, still have a bit of energy, and the Matan comes in. I'm going to have crunch here because they're not going to get me down before I do. So get the crunch off, but they make a catch on the Moltres. So nice catch, but unfortunately for them, this is a pretty tough alignment. I have Charjabug, takes this out. They don't even get to a move. And now this thing is going to have to throw a move. And I don't even think a Psyshock takes me out from this range. No, not surprising. Very bulky. This will get some chip. And let's see if I just instant swap. Can I instant swap? I can't. I am switch locked, which means they're going to get the farm down, which means they're going to have energy, which is kind of the worst case scenario. Do I force it on Drapion here? Yeah. I'm going to force that energy on Drapion, knowing that I can spam moves and they'll put some pressure on them. So they do just go Psyshock. It is resisted. Psyshock resisted. And they do get to another move. It's a Gyro Ball, but I live with 1 HP and that Astonish goes through for the win. Dedenne. Dedenne's tough. Drapion's okay with Poison Sting, Aqua Tail, but even Charjabug is going to have a tough matchup. So I need Drapion to chip as much as I can here. And I do get 1 Aqua Tail and some damage there, so that is not bad. But they saved it with energy, so that's going to be a tough end game for me here. Go Crunch. I do get a shield. Can I get to an Aqua Tail here? I can, and they throw. Not wanting to take out an Aqua Tail because their defense was lowered. Now, what do I do here? Both are resisted. I'm going to come and do the super effective Astonishes to try and Astonish down, but they do get to move. It is a Rage Fist. It is super effective. It is boosted already. So I'm going to shield this. They're going to have a move here. Oh, why did I stay in? I should have just instant swapped. I should have instant swapped, but I stayed in. And then I tried to come in here. And they have a Gajili, but again, their win con should be a 1 shield Dedenne here. So I would not be surprised if they get the Rock Tomb off, take me super low, get the Dedenne back in with the shield advantage, and just sweep this matchup. That's how I would play it anyways. Which is why I'm doing an extra Volt Switch. I'm just trying to get a little more energy, maybe put some pressure here. And they tried to come to, I think I remember this. They tried to come to the farm down. Do not get it. They are in the red. They will have to shield. And I will get the snipe Icy Wind off for the win. So coming out of a pretty bad matchup there. I thought they had more energy. I thought they had way more energy. I don't know why they were trying the aggressive farm down. I think they could have thrown and then saved that shield. This stupid team I saw twice in a row. You're going to see, I think I maybe had 2 or 3 losses, and it was to this Wigglytuff lead Marowak switch. I'm screwed. There's nowhere to go. So Marowak, so Wigglytuff lead. I'm double resisted. Astonish double resisted by the normal typing. Safe swap to Drapion just to get slapped by Marowak, which hits super effective and resists the Poison Sting. They're still going to get to move here. Maybe it's just a Bone Club. Doesn't really matter. So Wiggly comes back in. I do get to the Icy Wind. I'm going to try and chip because, again, I Volt Switch. Discharge would be pretty aggressive from that range, but I do get it. And in the back, it is a Sand Slash, which is half steel, which just means I got to go straight Discharge instead of X Scissor. And I'm trying to keep this alive, and they kind of bait there because Drifblim just with the double resisted Astonishes is not going to have any play. But unfortunately, they are kind of recognizing that if they just 2 shield this, they can potentially just take me out and then have Wiggly sweep. Which is why I always say if you can, take it to the 1 shield. Now I couldn't do that in the mid game because the Marowak just had such a dominating matchup. But yeah, catch it there because I tried to. I kind of did what I wanted. I caught the move on the Sand Slash, so I can come in here and try to get that off and try and Volt Switch down to come out with energy. Unfortunately, Volt Switch a little too long of a move. They get to a charge move here, enough to take me out. Corsola, this is a weird one because you're both hitting super effective with Astonish. I get to the move, but they get to also a ghost move, but they didn't throw, which was also kind of a little surprising. They eventually threw Power Gem on this when I tried to catch. I don't know why they didn't throw. Shadow Vic, not an amazing answer for Drapion. And I was going to say, let's see if I fight for Switch, but fight for Switch for what? There's nothing. It's not like Charjabug does amazing against Corsola, so I will just take the extra Astonish here. Coming out with a bit more energy. Throwing the Icy Wind to try and lower their attack right away. And they let it go, so I'm hoping that I can just Astonish down. And hoping that this Pokemon will allow me to Icy Wind it. And and so now let's talk about your summer, because what you're going to see here is a Thunderfang Steelix throwing resisted Thunderfangs, while I throw double resisted Volt Switches into a ground and then single resisted X Scissors into the Steel. And we both have 2 shields at that. So spoiler alert, as we watch this like 2 minutes of throwing crap at each other, I do end up winning with like 1 HP. The X Scissors coming in clutch here. They do double shields right off the bat because they do are throwing breaking swipes, and a breaking swipe here does lower my attack. So it was close, but yeah, what a brutal matchup to have to play out here. So X Scissor doing nothing. I'm going to need 2 more X Scissors. And I thought when I needed 2 more X Scissors, I was just in huge trouble. I thought there's no way they're going to get a couple breaking swipes off here to take me out. 1, not enough. And they're going to have to get to a second one. But I guess breaking swipe and Thunderfang is just a little slower. Get to the charge move. Do take it out for the win. Wiggly. Oh, I sure hope they don't have a Marowak as a safe swap in the back to answer my safe swap. And we're screwed. So, tough losses. Not much you can do. There's no... You may be thinking like... You know, I did think like, did a content... As soon as I saw this core twice, it's a different back Pokemon. But as soon as I saw this core twice, and maybe a content creator did put it out and I haven't looked at all of them yet. Like... I thought, is there a content creator team that I'm going to see like 10 times that I have to get rid of this team because I can't overcome this core? And you can't stay in. There's absolutely no play of staying in Drifblim. Could you come Charjabug as a safe swap? You know, yes. Because even the Marowak is not a bad matchup. Because yes, Volt Switch is double resisted and you're screwed from that. And they have double ground in the back. So, you know, a normal type double ground is just an absolutely hard counter team. So there's nothing I can do. But as you're going to see in these matchups here, ground is neutral on you because you're a half bug and bug resist. So you're only neutral to ground. And yes, electric is resisted, but X Scissor is neutral to ground here. So a lot of these matchups are obviously losing matchups, but they're not like the worst losing matchups. I'm trying to like save some energy, but it's not happening. So yeah, again, I'm a hard counter on this team, so there's nothing I could really do. Can Charjabug come in? Yes. As you saw on the Steelix, I did win that matchup, but Steelix, Clodsire, like Clodsire would resist every single one of your moves. The ground would double resist electric, and the poison would resist X Scissor. So it's really tough to safe swap Charjabug because of how punished you can be. But, you know, if you're just going to see that team every single time, you either change your team, change the order, or try Charjabug as a safe swap are your options. So Jellicent lead here. I do end up having to burn 2 shields, but it is a Jumpluff in the back here. And I'm thinking... Ooh, you must be really weak. I would be not surprised if I try and catch here. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm reading that if you're coming a Jumpluff into a loaded Drifblim, which has a double super effective Icy Wind, you are probably weak to this in the back. So I banked that energy. I do get a move off here, which is huge. Let's see if they undercharge. They do try to undercharge a bit to maybe try and get some energy on the back Pokemon. No, the Jellicent comes in. That's kind of a weird one. I thought they would try and get ahead on their back Pokemon. So I'm instant swapping to Drifblim, thinking that they are weak to it. And there is your second Pokemon, double weak to ice. 2 Pokemon in the back, both double weak to ice. Icy Wind one-shots that. Stunfisk. Stunfisk is one that is kind of an interesting lead because Thundershock super effective, Discharge super effective, but your Icy Wind is also super effective. So I can lower its attack here and then maybe try and catch on something. Problem is I can't Charjabug is in trouble here, but I took it low enough that I think I could just come in here, and Mud Bomb is super effective. So it does have coverage. And I know in one of my other videos, I said like, this Pokemon sucks. And then someone in my comment was like, yeah, Home Slice Henry just put this in as like top 10 Pokemon of how strong it is. I still think it's bad. Doesn't even make sense, Home Slice. Home Slice says he hates Dusclops and hates everything about it. And Stunfisk just seems like a worse Dusclops. You know, maybe its typing is good for this meta. Ground's a good typing in the meta, and electric can be 2 in the meta. So you have like water coverage, you have flying coverage, you can have ground for poison coverage. So I get it. I just don't like the Pokemon. But what I'm doing here is I'm coming in and I am getting to 100 energy. And I'm purposely doing that because I feel that that will be much more valuable in the end game here. So I took it low, I took it out. I have 100 energy on Charjabug. I got like 2+ moves. I may shield and farm because they let that move go. And if I can Icy Wind the back Pokemon and lower its attack and they can't reset, that would be amazing. And that is exactly what's happening. So I'm going to probably almost throw Blind here. And it is a Drifblim. And I have 2 discharges loaded. So let's see what they want to do here. They do let it go. But here we go. All that energy in the front end there. Smartly coming in. Yep, they know I'm loaded. There's no point of shielding. Dedenne again. So I will have to go here and hope I get an Aqua Tail off. And yeah, this is honestly what you want. This is the best that you're going to do against this Pokemon. So we definitely take that. You can probably take a Parabolic Charge. And you're just going to outpace it, right? It's only 4 to an Aqua Tail here. As opposed to 5, like 8 versus 10. Versus for the Parabolic Charge. So you could outpace this. Let's see if I shield. I'm going to shield, try and fight for Switch here. Yeah. I'm going to shield and try and fight for Switch. And, you know, normally I would say don't do that. Normally I would say, and this is my read on this Pokemon. Normally I would say don't do that. Just take the 2v1 shield and just come like Astonish. My read is if they're staying in with Drapion, and Drapion has a pretty good matchup against Dedenne, they probably have an answer in the back to Drifblim because they're not worried about alignment in the back here. So they were fighting for it. Right? There's your Dugong, which would have been a fantastic answer for Drifblim. Now my only question is, opponent, if you had this amazing answer for Drifblim, which is why you fought for Switch so hard, why are you showing it to me on and you got your own Drifblim? So they essentially had a mirror match and Dugong. So they had 2 answers for Drifblim in the back, which is not surprising why they were comfortable staying in that matchup. But unfortunately for them, I do have Charjabug, which takes out both the back line. Right? There's not a lot of flying Pokemon, but there's Drifblim and there's Moltres and there's Mandibuzz and there's not bad. And then X-Scissor for Darks. Again, Darks are kind of scared away with all the bugs buffed this season, but I still think Charjabug has play. Obviously, grounds are super, super hard for it. It is weak to fire too. Like we didn't see any fires, but it is weak to fire. There's only a few fires in the meta, and one is Talonflame, which you also hit super effective against. So it's kind of a not bad from that perspective. But yeah, grounds are definitely your hardest answer. And I guess rocks, but again, like if you see a Bastiodon or something, it's going to be like pretty much a top left, but not a ton of those, not a ton of Carbinks running around just yet. Maybe the meta will evolve next time around, but for what I'm seeing is that, you know, there's enough viable Pokemon, and it feels like RPS at times. I think you can RPS your way with Charjabug through this meta. So that is it. League turnover tomorrow. It is an Ultra League, which I will do what I did last time because a lot of people like that Great League video. So what I did in the Great League video, I said, here's the team, but here's how it was developed, why it was developed, here's why it works, and here is how you like change it if you want to. And I think people really like that. But we also have a limited Great League Cup, if I remember. I'm just bringing it up now. Yep, the Hisui Cup. Great League Edition. I'm assuming PV Poke. I filmed this a few days in advance, but I'm assuming PV Poke has it up already. It does. Drapion. Okay. Some unique ones. Some very meta ones. Drapion and Shadow Drapion are 1 and 2. So, Dusknoir, Gastrodon, Spirit Tomb, Quillfish, Gliscor, Overquill, which is the evolution of the Quillfish, Gallade, Vespiquen, Mamoswine. This is wholly random. Abomasnow, Sneasler, Hippopotas, Electivire, Mantike, Heatran. What is this meta? This meta, oh, this is going to be a tough week. Because this meta is very much like you have your meta Pokemon, which everyone will have. Everyone's going to have, not everyone, but a lot of people have Drapion, Dusknoir, Gastrodon, Gliscor, maybe, and Drifblim, and maybe some Abomasnows. But some of these other ones, like Mantike and Heatran, you're in the sort of gutter here. Yeah, this is random. Rhyperior at 31? What is happening? Hippowdon at 24? So very all over the place meta. I'll have to take a look. I'll probably do that tonight. I mean, I'll do it tonight when I'm filming this, but you'll see it tomorrow. So check back for that. And that is it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.